You talking about anti-woke shit in the midterms? Oh,
Twitter guy today. Republicans need to take a long look in the mirror and figure out why we can't connect with fed up Americans. Their previous 8,000 tweets. Look at this scene from Disney's Lightyear. The suit is intentionally designed to make pedophiles' cocks hard. Yeah, it's true. I've said this so many times. The more you fucking talk about pedophile shit, the more gross you come across to Normans. Dumb guy with an agenda walks around a normal store is my favorite subgenre of video.
It's normie poison. It is normie poison. In the immediate aftermath of the 2022 midterm election, I fucking told y'all that, like, if Republicans keep leaning into this weirdo shit, they are going to be off-putting to normal voters. I was right, and they're doing it again because they don't know anything else. They're so invested in the culture war narratives and the trans panic and all this shit, they've deluded themselves into thinking other people also think like them. They think Matt Walsh gets so much play in the normal world.
This is the kind of anti-woke crusade nonsense that made normies uncomfortable. Oh, yeah.
You have all kind of woke stuff. The young adult section, which is this whole thing. It's 4 times bigger. And then there's this weird new category called manga, which is, again, 4 times bigger than the world history section. Book by Greta Thunberg. Hashtag Greta Thunberg did not write this book. I looked at it. I read some of it. She didn't write it. They didn't have a longer, unabridged version of Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn. I looked for some favorite theologians and philosophers of old and didn't.
God, you're so boring and so weird, dude. This can't be real, right?
Find most of them. Some of them were there, but none of them.
Hey, guys, notice how my hair is very long back then? And I'm still calling him fucking weird. I haven't stopped calling him fucking weird because I was a... This is part of the reason why I like Tim Walz, because everybody thinks like he's the one who invented the Republicans are weird narrative. He definitely brought it to the forefront for the Democratic Party. But if there's a motherfucker who's been doing that because it is objectively the truth, it's me. I've been doing it for years. That's what Hogwatch is, Hogwaltz.
Guy who's angry that fucking capitalist corporation is selling more popular books than less popular books is weird. It's weird.
The others, and so this is my fear. The social sciences sections. Yeah.
Dude, divorce court really, truly, and I mean this with my whole chest, wholeheartedly, has destroyed this country. Divorce court has absolutely destroyed men. We gotta fix it. Hey, by the way, he likes Huck Finn because it uses the N-word profusely. That's why he said the unabridged version. That's why what he's talking about. He's like, why don't they have Huckleberry Finn with the N-word in it?
Aw, that's wonderful.
As I was getting off the plane last night, a stewardess asked what I was so excited about. I told her I'd won my election. It was the first trans woman elected in Montana. She immediately teared up. My son is trans, she said, and began to tell me about all the joys and fears. Aw, that had come with this transition, how much happier and healthier he is now. I got to see pictures of her and her son in Paris, the two of them beaming with joy. She also talked about how scary the world was, but how this moment gave her hope. I'm telling you, dude, the more normalized trans existence becomes, the more suburban moms and dads, you're going to see more of those, like the golden retriever family that you saw on Fox News. Remember that like perfectly white family with a white picket fence in California with their trans, I think they had a trans son, right? You're going to see more of that. It's the same with gay shit. Obergefell brought about a normalization, like just being gay in public. Once that cat's out of the bag, you're going to have suburban moms finally be F-word pilled, okay? They're gonna have gay friends. And women, especially white women, love having gay best friends, okay? That's huge. All of a sudden, you've locked down a major political coalition. That's huge. Then you're gonna have those people have children that are gay. Boom. It's done. The cat's out of the bag. You can't go back. You can't just like try to fucking push people back into the dark corners when their children are coming out as gay. That's kind of what Asita was talking about when he said, like, you know, a lot of the anger that people feel, a lot of the anger and resentment that like Republicans try to captivate, a lot of the anger that they try to like focus on, right, is about the next generation, because the next generation is way more open about being gay. The next generation is open about being trans. When you're hyper focusing on that, you're forgetting the reality that like there are a lot of children who are that. You know what I mean? And these people's parents are gonna have a genuinely different perspective.
Your biggest Achilles heel is that you can make a great and salient point, but then say some shit like F-word pilled. Yeah, that is actually what differentiates me from other people. Not necessarily that like I'm also, despite being online for fucking 10 hours every goddamn day, I think I have a better understanding of like what normal people feel than most of these fucking political operatives who lean into their absolute worst instincts. I also am fucking silly and say dumb shit.
Perspective on
And
the
not boring.
matter. It'll happen. Let's take a look at Republicans flopping last night because these women went crazy.
You have the best example. Michigan, unbelievable. State House flips, state Senate flips. 6 months ago, you would have written Whitmer off.
Dude, this guy knows women. I want to hear more analysis from this fucking thing. I want to hear what this thing has to say about these women, okay?
Dobbs, she wins handily. 5 states had abortion referendums, including my home state of Montana. All of them passed. I mean, this abortion is becoming the issue that's driving turnout. Last night, exit polls, you guys talked about it earlier, Democrats win independents in a non-presidential year. Just no poll saw that coming.
One of my best locks on this is the idea that like Republicans have basically deluded themselves into thinking that their opinions are popular. Republicans of the old guard knew that their opinions were not popular. They would desperately try to commercialize these points by basically hiding the underlying resentment towards like black people, for example. The famous Lee Atwater clip comes to mind, which is you can't say the N-word any longer, so you say other things. That's why you have the dog whistle. But Republicans, by way of state legislatures, advance this like super crazy anti-trans agenda all across the country. Ain't nobody was asking for it. Who the fuck in even Ohio was like, we really have to have penis inspection day? Nobody. Okay? They just did that because they thought, no, this is really good. We're giving our base what they want. They want this. They want this more than anything else. They forgot, and this is a major flub with Ron DeSantis and why he fucking lost handily in the primaries. They put the cart before the horse. Culture war issues are supposed to be a distraction. They're not supposed to be just simply the forefront of all of your legislative agenda, dumbass. The real goal in this circumstance is to simply distract people with culture war issues to differentiate yourself from the Democratic Party while offering tax cuts and deregulation to the corporations. Okay? If you run simply on culture war shit and you literally fucking hammer that point in over and over again, you're going to lose. And that's precisely what is happening to the Republican Party. Here's the funniest part about it. If Democrats do that, they lose too. Could you imagine? The equivalent of this is the Hillary Clinton campaign in 2016, okay? Running on you're transphobic if you don't vote for us is the most idiotic thing that you could ever do, okay? I'm not saying that that's the only thing that the Hillary Clinton campaign did, but they certainly placed an outsized emphasis on that shit. Don't do that. Don't ever fucking do that. You think trans people are like aliens that are separate from the rest of society? No, trans people are fucking workers too. Run on shit that helps every American and then explain to them why paid family leave is good, okay? Why destroying child poverty is a good thing, why feeding children is a good thing, by making it easier for workers of this country to have like free time for themselves is a good thing. And then if they fucking complain about that shit, the material improvements that will come for them, then, fuck them. Pretty transphobic take. I know I am literally a transphobe. Okay. I am the number one enemy of all things LGBTQ for saying something like trans people are also nurses, doctors, fucking teachers. Okay. They have the same interests. They don't like live in a separate place. They don't live in like a hive. They live in homes. They rent. Okay. They are also responsive to economic pressures. Holy fuck. Look, 75,000 high school kids participating in high school sports in Utah. 4 transgender kids playing high school sports in Utah. 1 transgender student playing girl sports. 86% of trans youth supporting suicidality. 56% of trans youth have attempted suicide. And they're running fucking, and they're like, it was so bad that the Utah governor, I remember, vetoed a bill and literally said, yo, I can't in good conscience fucking vote for a bill that is literally designed to bully one trans girl in this fucking state. When you are that locked in, when you are that dialed, when you are that fucking insane, when you're that insane, that is off-putting to other people. Now, there's also another side to this. Yeah, the legislature still went hog wild and overrode the veto, but you have to understand something. None of that means that this is like a genuine policy that people were desperately, like people were like, oh, thank God, a breath of fresh air. We made sure that that one trans girl is no longer participating in high school athletics. And I feel so confident that the Republican Party is carrying my interests across the finish line. That's not a thing that people care. You only think that if you're so primed and so deluded in your echo chambers that you think everyone is that fucking lasered in on like trans people. Okay? Off-putting. Remind us why you lost viewers with the Israel coverage. You think that is a good, this is an adequate equivalent? Yes, dude. People don't want to fucking tune in to me talk about how America is participating in a genocide every day. That doesn't change the reality that it is still patently unjust and inhumane. Yeah, I'm not a politician, you fucking idiot. I'm a political commentator. The fuck do you mean? And I'm not saying make Palestine the forefront of your conversation when I'm doing electoral calculations anyway. So what the fuck argument is this? I'm simply stating time and time again, regardless of my own morality on the matter, Democrats have an easy dub in dealing with Gaza. Okay, they have an easy dub. They have an electoral dub there. They will lose no voters and they will only gain voters. That's something you do for good politics. So you're not wrong, chatter. They're obsessed, man. You're underestimating how Fox is breaking the brains of all Republicans of this nation. Yes. Okay? Yes. You are right about that. And that is the one thing that I mentioned in this video as well, where I said there's only one thing that would make this so much worse. If Fox News succeeds in making everyone as primed and as angry and as locked in on trans people, and they actually flip the normal voters into being just as like transphobic as the average Twitter user, then this country is perma-fucked, and then they will be able to actually successfully launch these strategies. But I do not believe that Fox News has been able to successfully implement it. Okay? No. That's it. It's not working. If anything, it makes people go, I don't really care about this. I don't know. A lot of my normal friends got trans on the mind all the fucking time, bro. I know. It's not just Fox News. It's also The Shade Room, No Jumper, all of these like other, even like, you know, random meme accounts. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook is everywhere. But the moment that they are that lasered in on trans people, Barstool, the moment that they're that lasered in, that dialed in on the trans people, look at what happened with the Imam Khalif situation. I don't see it getting there. Even here in hyper-conservative Idaho, I don't hear that rhetoric as often anymore, and people are straying to a more centrist opinion more and more on those topics. Yep. Most people don't want to think about it. Most people don't want to think about it. The End Wokeness account on Twitter can pump out as much transphobic sentiment as they want to, but ultimately, at its peak usage, Twitter was 20% of the American population was using Twitter. Okay? 20% of the American population was using Twitter. At its peak usage, it's much lower than that now. It's gotten significantly worse. And wokeness can get 200,000 likes on Twitter. That does not reflect the real world at all. And that certainly does not reflect the attitudes of normal voters if you are thinking about this from the perspective of the electoral victories, okay?
And it was because these women just went crazy.
Oh man, that's good. Yeah, these women be crazy, man. Women be voting. They be shopping and they be voting, you know? I really don't care how Messina meant for this to sound. Men need to think about how they speak about women. Historic activism and voter turnout is not crazy. We don't want to die. Extremely appreciated. Thank you for being an ally in this fight. Last night was a definite win, but we got ways to go. You're totally right. I apologize for being inarticulate during the TV interview. What I was trying to convey is that the energy of women voters and their political power is what saved the night for the Democrats across the country. That's Jim Messina, Obama's, he ran Obama's campaign in 2012, or he was on Obama's administration from the Obama-Biden 2012 campaign manager. Let's see what they were doing on election night, though.
So yeah, this is not an exciting evening. You know, kind of like many of my dates before I met my wife.
Oh my God, Dad! Yes! He did not say that! Stop! We gotta run that.
I don't mean it as being a dick, but I know you hang with some normies, but I promise you the Ohio blue collar crowd, their brains are completely broken by MAGA shit. First of all, that's Ohio. Secondly, that's the reason why you have to run a normal campaign, as the Democrats are doing kind of right now. If you don't counter message against all of the brain broken right-wing panic, you let the entire territory be dominated on those key issues by right-wing panic. You have to give people things that they care about, okay? So they can be invested in your campaign. They can be invested into voting for you. That's it. Democrats don't do that and haven't really done that. They haven't done that in a while. Is this a mid-series clip show? No, I'm just showing you that my interpretation and my analysis has not changed since the midterms, and actually exactly what I predicted is happening right now. Do you not understand? This is not a filler. This is just me simply telling you that if you fucking behave like a weirdo over and over again, and then you think that your weirdo opinions are reflected by broader society, if you run up against someone who goes, nah, that shit is weird, we just want to feed children, all of a sudden you're cooked. If you run against someone who, on the other hand, goes, oh, all this weirdo stuff is scaring me, and maybe I'm a weirdo too, and they lean into it, they tack right, the Democrats tacking right on issues that are born out of right-wing hysteria, will actually be a loser for the Democrats. There is no rebuttal if you ignore it. No, you shouldn't ignore it. You should talk about how fucking weird it is and what you're actual campaigning, what you're campaigning on. People have forgotten that, like, people just don't even think about this, especially even in this community, right? Like a supposedly leftist community. Politicians are supposed to earn your fucking votes, man. They are supposed to earn your votes, okay? Offer them things. And those things should be as broad encompassing as possible. Policies that are actually helpful, that actually reflect the anxieties that Americans feel. Republicans do a very good job of recognizing that there are anxieties and then funneling all of that anger and frustration back to their opponents, back to marginalized people, back to people that have been historically dominated by American politics, okay? Weaker people in general, people that do not have the capacity to fight back. They need to win the suburban white woman. The transvestigating of Katie Ledecky really upset my moderate mom. Yes.